ever since I saw Daniel Schiefer's video using a probe lens, I was dying to get one. I was doing food photography and I saw a huge potential in its use. Unfortunately, they aren't exactly budget friendly, and I couldn't justify the expense, and I was kind of starting to transition out of food photography. Fast forward to today, and I still want a probe lens that works with my APS-C Fuji system. The Astrhori Probe Lens is an APS-C 18mm macro lens at f8. I'm going to go over how it works with me and my Fuji system and as a Fuji user, and I'm going to go over its image quality and discussing whether it's a niche lens that's worth adding to your commercial bag. Before we go over some footage, let's go over the specs and the lens and just some key features. The Astrhori Probe Lens is an 18mm with an aperture range of f8 to f28, 23 elements and 17 groups, and it's designed as a response to its competitor, which is the Venus-Laowa lens. One notable advantage of the Astrhori Probe Lens is its affordability, priced at about $720, which is significantly lower compared to the competition. It offers a 2:1 macro capability with a focal distance of a little over 1/4 inch. The lens is available in various mounts including Fuji X, M43, Sony, Nikon Z, Canon RF. In terms of build quality, the Astrhori Probe Lens features a sturdy metal construction with a metal lens cap. It also includes an LED light on the end, which is waterproof to get great capturing shots involving liquids. This lens is fully manual, lacking autofocus and exposure control. The aperture is clickless, which is nice, and silent, which is a big plus. Now let's talk about the image quality. The lens provides a unique perspective, almost like a miniature view of the world. While using the lens, I found that the lens performs best at about f8 to f14. In terms of sharpness, there is some softness at the corners, especially at wide open apertures, but the center remains sharp and distortion is well controlled with only a slight bend at the edges. However, vignetting is noticeable at the corners, which can be corrected in post-processing to an extent. But honestly, at least to me, I feel like the vignetting is kind of a part of the experience when it comes to using a probe lens, and it's almost like a trademark feature. Maybe that's just my style and opinion. So similar to other probe lenses, the Astrhori Probe Lens has an LED light array at the end of the lens, which provides a subtle fill light, which enhances detail, of course, for close-up shots and everything, since you have such a low or high f-stop, I guess. However, one downside and one thing that I wish you could adjust it a little bit more, it kind of turns on at a very bright starting point, as opposed to being able to adjust from 0 all the way up to 100%. I wish you had more control over that in different lighting situations. Also, this is not a knock on this lens, but anytime you can use external lighting, you're going to be better off because you have more control, and it's not direct light. You can better diffuse and mold it to create whatever it is you're trying to get, but it's going to be much more beneficial than having direct light directly from that lens. To summarize, this probe lens is pretty unique, it's affordable, and it offers a great distinctive perspective for your photography and videography. While it does require some considerations such as powerful lighting for smaller apertures and careful handling to avoid vibrations or anything, it's going to bring your creativity kind of to the next level in your work, and it's going to give you some very unique perspectives that not a lot of people are using. I can definitely say I don't have the best setup for this lens. I've been using it kind of on a very small slider with just minimal lighting setups and everything, but even with that, I've been able to create some pretty cool stuff and use it in some very unique situations. And I think it's definitely a bonus in my tool belt, and I'm very happy to be using it, and I think I'm going to be using it a lot more to kind of force me to think outside the box and just some unique ways in which I can incorporate it into maybe getting back into food photography or shooting different B-roll of lenses, or one of the other shots you saw was where I had it go into the Jobo. So just shots like that to kind of incorporate it into things that otherwise you really can't experience because you can't get a camera in there and get that kind of perspective. But nevertheless, this is a solid lens. I can't say I saw any big negatives to the lens. Yes, maybe it wasn't as sharp at certain f-stops, or maybe there was a little bit of vignetting, but nothing that looked unnatural or unappealing as far as the image quality or sharpness around the edges or anything like that. It was very typical and would match up very well with any kind of lens kit, I think. So there's nothing I think you need to be worried about as far as the look of this lens. I think it fits in very well with kind of whatever your toolkit is, and it definitely won't look far worse color-wise or sharpness or anything wise compared to the rest of your toolkit, especially with this unique perspective. I think it's going to fit in very well. As a Fuji user, I definitely think it works great on this X-H2s kit that I have set up with it, and then just incorporating it with, you know, the different monitors and the new small rig grip and focus pull that I have. It works out really well, letting me get in there and get nice precise control and get those shots that I need, even with a manual focus lens. So if you've been holding out on a probe lens looking for something maybe a little bit more budget friendly, or you just weren't sure on whether to pull the trigger, definitely check out this probe lens. I can definitely highly recommend it. If you have any questions on this or my Fuji setup or other vintage lenses that I'm using a lot lately, be sure to leave those in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.